Oh, shit, son. We're back. Bluecast is live once again. And my name is Alex Blue. And welcome to another useless episode of the Bluecast. We're going to keep this train rolling. This shit don't stop. It's like how P. Diddy once said, I thought I told you that we won't stop. I thought I told you that we won't stop. Hey, we're not going to stop here, okay? Got a brewski. And it's the Two-Hearted Ale this week. Let's pop it open. Oh, so good. American IPA. And it's probably my new favorite IPA. It's from Bell's. Bell's. Ding, ding, dong. Ding, da, ding, 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 dong. Keep those bells ringing, all right? Cheers. Feeling silly, feeling loose. That's what it's all about here, you know? Music, being silly, and just hanging out, chilling, you know? It's a fucking Saturday, and your boy is doing nothing, all right? It's the weekend, and on the weekend, what do we do? What do we do on the weekend? We drink, we listen to music, I listen to a shitload of podcasts, but I also do a whole lot of nothing, all right? I don't want to fucking do anything unless it's a music venue that opens up or if it's like a comedy show or some shit like that. Then you got my attention. But other than that, as long as they keep those music venues closed, your boy is doing nothing, all right? And let's get right into it, okay? Let's pull some records, and I encourage everybody, okay? I put this in the description last time, but I encourage everybody to listen to the music that I talk about. So from the moment that I pull out the record, go ahead and search it in the internet.com, you know, whatever way you have to listen to music. It doesn't have to be vinyl. And listen to the music. Let's make this like a community thing, you know? Let's make this interactive. I want you guys to listen to the music that I pull because, you know, it's basically the records I have. I don't own bullshit. You know, I'm not going out there and fucking buying, you know, the new pop artist, the new famous pop artist that everybody's listening to on vinyl, and you know, and I'm not gonna like, you know, sway you guys in the wrong direction and recommend something that's garbage. I want you guys to listen to good music. I'm here to inspire people to actually open up their minds. And if you haven't listened to that artist before, that album, go ahead and give it a listen, you know? Go into the uncomfortable territory of something that you're not accustomed to. I love turning on to people the music that they never listened to. It's amazing. It's great. Never stay in one lane. Always try to go from lane to lane. Trust me, it's worth it. Okay? All right, so here we go. Let's get started. I'm going to pull two random records out of my collection. One from the past, like, you know, like the era of your parents, and then one from the more modern era that we live in right now. Okay? Give me 1 minute. Okay, actually, I just pulled. The reason why I pulled one of those records and put them back, I realized that I talked about it before, and I just pulled another record that I talked about before. Why do I do this? I don't know, but let me go ahead and pull another record. The record I pulled was The Doors. I talked about this record before in another episode, I remember, so give me 1 minute. That works. Okay. All right, let's start with the record of the past. And this is from one of my favorite artists of all time. Of all time. Okay, no question. This guy and Omar Rodriguez Lopez just pumped out those albums, just like album, record, and they own all the masters. They own all the rights. Well, I'm going to talk specifically today about this guy, which is Mr. Frank Zappa. And this is, I believe, his second album, released in 1968, I want to say. And it's Frank Zappa and the Mothers of Invention, absolutely free. Absolutely free. Okay? Verve. Released on the Verve label. Here we go. There's a little town with the American flag, and then you have Kill Ugly Radio, huh? What was I just talking about? Kill Ugly Radio. Perfect lead in, man. You know? Just saying that I'm not going to own any vinyl from these fucking loopy pop artists, man. I have no time for that. Oh, check out this picture with the mothers. There's the mothers. The Mothers of Invention. Frank Zappa and the rest of them. Such talent, man. And this album in particular, I love it. I fucking love it. It's so good. Absolutely free. And it kicks off with, on track 1, it kicks off with Plastic People. And, man, you got to listen to this album. It's still relatable to this day. It's just talking about American culture, American society, a lot of, like, you know, the 60s, you know, type of American values and everything that people, you know, consumerism and all that type of stuff. You know, Zappa kind of is very tongue-in-cheek. He does it with a comedic element, but he's so good at it, man. Zappa's the first musician that I ever heard that was successful in combining comedy with music, with the exception of Eminem. You know, Eminem, he's really good at doing that too. He's a funny motherfucker. And also the artist I'm about to talk to in a minute, also he's pretty fucking funny too with his verses. But Zappa though, you know, Plastic People, the album kicks off with a drum roll, like a ladies and gentlemen, the President of the United States. And then he's like, and then it's, he's been sick. I think his wife made him some bad chicken soup or something like that. And then it's like, plastic people, you're such a drag. And it's so experimental, man. The whole album is just a fucking freaky concoction of sounds. And it's his second album. His first album's Freak Out, which is a great album too, but Absolutely Free is the one I own. And I own a lot of Zappa, so I know I'm going to be talking about him in the future. So Frank fucking Zappa and the Mothers of Invention, one of the best to ever do it. And I also encourage everybody to check out Dweezil Zappa, because Dweezil Zappa honors his dad in a group called Zappa Plays Zappa. So whenever he's touring, go check him out. You won't be disappointed because he's just as talented as his pops, and they have this. He has this respect for the music, you know. You know, he's gotten sued by the family over rights and shit. It's nasty. It's like, why? Why does family have to sue each other? You know, Dweezil's out there just playing music that his dad made and just doing it for the love of music. And then the family estate of Zappa, which owns all the rights to this day, they're just greedy. They're greedy right now. So I'm not digging that, but I do support Dweezil and everything that Zappa, when he was alive, did. So I also, you know, I want to say, you know, people, watch out, man. Watch out with these estates. When these artists die, you know, and the family takes over and they start releasing these albums, I don't buy none of that, you know. I don't buy into it. I don't support, because the artist isn't alive to be able to say. I feel that they just do it out of greed, out of consumerism, and just taking advantage of the legacy that the artist left. So don't buy anything that an artist releases after they die. I'm not with it. Now this album right here, amazing. My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy by Kanye West. And I gotta say, okay, that this album is without a doubt a hip hop masterpiece. It's a masterpiece. And when you have it on vinyl, it sounds so fucking good. And you have 3 discs. It comes with 3 discs. It's a big album. A lot of fucking material in here. And Kanye's 4th album, I believe. You got The College Dropout, you got Late Registration, you got Graduation, and you got this. No, his 5th, because after Graduation, you have 808 and Heartbreaks, or 808s and Heartbreak, something like that. And Kanye just really he just killed it with this album, with his lyrical ability, his guest features. The guest features on here is what really makes this album, in my opinion. You know, the sampling. He's like on another level with sampling. He's trying to reinvent himself once again on this album. You know, he's always trying to reinvent himself in every album. And this is where he got a little bit grittier, a little bit harder, and also just thinking outside the box, you know, trying to push hip hop to that outside of the box genre, you know. It's like these genres could always get stuck in one box. And there's artists that try to like bring everybody together, like, hey, look, I could actually make a song with Bon Iver. I could sample King Crimson. You know, I can come together with these artists and make something beautiful happen out of nothing. Because that's what I do. I'm an artist. I'm not just I can make a music video with ballet dancers and put a ballerina on my album. You know, I respect all that stuff. I respect ballet. I respect progressive rock. I respect singer-songwriters and electronic music like Daft Punk. So that's what I think of when I think of Kanye. Just a pure artist. I think of him first as a beat maker, a producer, and then I know in his mind he probably thinks of himself that way too. He's a beat maker, he's a producer, he's a musician. That's a musician when you're able to make beats like that. And then a lyricist, and then a composer of words, which is basically the same thing. It's all in time. It's all in time. And he just chops it up and makes beautiful products like this. So My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, it just dives into that beautiful dark twisted fantasy, which is fame and all the goods that could come from fame, the women, the money. But he doesn't do it in that typical, like how everybody else is doing it, you know? When this album came out in 2010, this was like immediately the album of the decade. It was like, it could have been the soundtrack of the decade. And for me, it kind of was. It kicked it off, and you got to have that album that kicks off the decade. Everybody has it. We're like in the middle of 2020, and it's been a fucking whirlwind of a year. Like, we're going to be talking about this year for years to come, I know for sure. And what would be the album of 2020? What's an album that just came out recently that I feel has shook the heavens? Unfortunately, nothing comes to mind. There's nothing that's came out this year. Maybe we still have time. Maybe there's something. Somebody's going to release a banger that's just going to that's going to defy all the expectations of people. I'll be looking forward to it. My ear is very close to the pop world, you know. Every now and then I dip in and out of the pop world, but I'm also always looking to see what new albums are coming out so I can get that modern influence as well, you know. Even though, like, I believe some of the best stuff is from the past, you know. Time moves too fast. That's the thing, you know. So, man, I've been eating a lot of good food. During quarantine. I make it, but I also enjoy seeking it out. I eat a lot of red meat. Red meat's like my favorite of all the meats. And I'm talking about different cuts of steak. I'm talking about ground beef burgers, you know. I'm talking about lamb chops. I'm talking about fucking tacos. I don't know, man. Whatever. You know, as long as there's fucking meat and there's more meat than anything else, I'm in. I'm in, all right? But I seem to have this problem, which I like to eat so fucking fast. I like to eat fast. I believe that it seals in the flavor better, you know? I'm just a fast eater. And I don't know. I've never been able to eat slow, but there's benefits. There's benefits to both. They say that when you eat slow, you're able to digest it better, but when you eat fast, it just tastes better. Am I right? Am I crazy? Am I crazy for thinking that? Am I crazy for thinking that it's better to eat fast than it is to eat slow? And how about sex? I believe that food and sex are like almost the same. You know, I get the same pleasure out of both. But what's better, fast sex or slow sex? You know, like really like jackhammer, you know, Energizer Bunny sex, or like put on Prince, you know, slow loving type of motion, you know, the motion of the ocean sex. Leave comments below and let me know what do you prefer? All right, what is it? The fast eating versus a slow eating, and fast sex versus a slow sex. I need to know, you know, because I do things fast, but I like to eat fast, but I like to make love slow. I'm into the slow sex, but hey, if the girl asks for it, like if the girl's like, fuck me harder, fuck me faster, I'm like, all right, cool, fucking the Energizer Bunny is activated. I put in those fucking new batteries and I'm ready to go. You know? I'm a giver. I'm a lover. And I like to give, you know? But yeah, comment below and let me know. Don't be shy, okay? But yeah, this podcast, what is this? Like, this is like, what am I, like, podcast number 80,000 in the world? Like, I don't even know. There's just as many podcasts now, I believe, as there is, like, SoundCloud profiles and all this. I mean, I'm just happy to be part of the family, guys. I'm just happy to be part of this whole thing. And mostly why I'm able to do this, number one reason why, I'm going to tell you right now. Because I'm an attention whore. It's been said to me, and sometimes I've denied it, but deep down inside, I know I'm a fucking attention whore. You know, I'm what I guess I could consider myself a musician. I've played shows, and the only reason why you go up on stage and you're able to fucking be in front of people is because you're a fucking attention whore. You know? And then I remember my earliest experience, you know, with a microphone. I had to do a presentation like back in like, I don't know, like in elementary school or something. And I had to get in front of my class and I had to do a report on Houdini. And I never spoke in a microphone before, but I had to talk about Houdini. And I believe that that was a good start to talk about Houdini. At least I didn't talk about like some boring ass fucking character from history. You know, it wouldn't have been as cool if I would have talked about like, what? Like a president or a political figure or like somebody like the person that invented algebra. It was not going to be as interesting to me, but I got to choose the person, you know, out of like a list of people that they gave me, and I chose Houdini. So that was my mind back in the day. Like I was into, you know, interesting motherfuckers. And yeah, I got to talk in front of people with a microphone, and I don't know, I think that's where it started. I was so like people were like, "How did you do it so effortlessly?" I'm like, "I don't know. I just did it. Put on a cape and everything. I went all out, man. I don't care. Like for me, like this is more awkward than if I was to do it in front of people. You know, I feel like the more people, the better. Like then you don't have to just focus on one face. Everything just blends together. That's the way my mind works. I have no shame. I have no fear. when it comes to those type of things. It just doesn't exist to me. I've known people that have told me like, oh my God, I have like stage fright, or like I just can't talk in front of people. Why not? You're literally just like kind of like just able to release what's in your brain. Like you have to release it. You can't just let it in. Like I know for me, I can't let it in. I have to release these thoughts, these random ramblings that happens inside. If not, it overflows and then it comes out from my ears or something. I don't know. It's just it's just like steam just starts blowing out of my ears, like in the cartoons, like you know. But yeah, what is it about? What is it about being an attention whore that's so satisfying? I don't know. I guess it's because I could be like, hey, look, I'm doing something that you're not doing, or like, this is, look, I'm not just like a civilian. I'm not just like a day-to-day person that's out there consuming. I'm actually creating something as useless as it can be. It's something, But then what if like, I have an idea. What if everybody in your family was an attention whore? Like, what if you were born into like a family of attention whores? You're gonna have to profit off of that. One attention whore is better than another. Than two attention whores is more powerful than one. Like doing things in a group is a lot easier. Like if you're in a band with a bunch of attention whores, you're gonna become famous. Like that's called Led Zeppelin, basically. You can't have like one shy person in there. I mean, you could have that kind of like odd shy man out, and everybody knows that that's like, like in the Beatles, George Harrison. But then eventually, look at him, with his solo career, he became an attention whore himself. It's good. But like, let's say like I was born into like an entertainment family or something. Like everybody just loved the spotlight, loved the attention. I will for sure start an attention whore family circus, and we'll go from town to town on tour. And we'll just be the attention whore family circus. And, whatever. We'll fucking podcast. We'll juggle. We'll fucking play guitar. We'll play the fucking, maracas, the drums, the timbales, the fucking, any kind of fucking percussion instrument that you can imagine. Somebody's probably going to play a fucking accordion in there. Who knows? There's probably going to be a trumpet player. There's probably going to be a fucking bassist, with the stand-up bass, flipping it around, twisting it. There's going to be somebody doing a backflip, somebody doing a front flip in there. Probably you'll have the black sheep of the family doing skateboarding tricks, busting his ass. And that'll be called the Attention Whore Family Circus, And, yeah, it'll be a nationwide tour. Because it can't just be music. There'll be one person that sets himself on fire. There'll be one person that will eat, swallow a frog and then spit it out into a glass. There'll be another person that will what's another thing shocking that people love, huh? What's another thing that's shocking that people love? I don't know. Did I say get hit in the nuts? I didn't say that, right? Well, yeah. Maybe there'll be some people getting hit in the nuts. Who knows? Yeah. That always works. That's always a crowd pleaser. Why is it that forever, it's always going to be forever, getting hurt, getting hit in the nuts, or busting your ass is always going to be a crowd pleaser, a showstopper, hilarious. Like, for example, you can be the best musician, the best comedian. You could be out there doing the best material that you can be doing. If somebody gets hit in the nuts, that stops everything. Everybody's cracking up. Somebody falls, somebody busts their ass, everybody is just, in hysterics. Why is that? Why do we love seeing people get hurt? Who knows? Maybe it goes back to the gladiator days. Why did we love seeing people get mauled by tigers? Who knows? It's probably just human nature. We just love fucking seeing people get fucking fucked up for some reason. It's funny. It's fucking funny. That's why Jackass was so successful. And they're going to keep releasing movies, without a doubt. And I'm going to keep watching them. I'll support Jackass until the end. I was a big fan back in the day. Still am. And by the way, Steve-O has a great podcast. It's called Wild Ride. Check it out. The Wild Ride. He also, on his YouTube channel, he posts up a lot of stuff. Steve-O is an amazing human being. I love that motherfucker. And I'm from Florida, South Florida. I grew up here my whole life. And when I was a kid, I used to go to a place called the Swap Shop off of Sunrise. And there was a circus. The Swap Shop is insane. The Swap Shop is this... It's like it exists in another dimension. It's like something from like the Twilight Zone. Get this. It's a flea market, an outdoor flea market, indoor-outdoor flea market. You know, you can get there early and sell shit. And it's an indoor mall with a circus. And then at night, a drive-in movie theater. It's got it all, man. And it has like this circus theme. And back in the 90s, they had a pretty good circus show. I haven't been to it recently, but Steve-O was a clown at the Swap Shop back in the day. Bet you didn't know that. He had crazy red hair, and I do believe seeing pictures of him on the internet when he was a clown, I do believe I saw him back in the day. I just can't remember. I was so young, you know. It's hard to remember things when you're young. You just get little like glimpses, only the important things you remember. Like what's those important, crucial moments in your youth that you remember, you know? Like what, like your first day of school maybe, you know, your first video game system, you know, that's huge, that's major. The first time you discover your talent, the first time you discover that you actually are better than just like this couch potato that just plays video games or like watches TV. Like, oh my God, I could actually do this or that, you know? Imagine like when Tom Brady first discovered that he could play football. Like, holy shit, I'm better than everybody. That must have been huge. But yeah, Steve-O's podcast, check it out, Wild Ride. It's a great podcast. But I do have to say that something that sticks in your mind forever, and this is just as important as the first time you had sex, for example. I think it's more important, actually. I would have to say it's your first fight. And everybody has had to have gotten in at least one fight, you know. And if your first fight was a loss, then that must suck. You have to live with that for the rest of your life. But if your first fight was a win, then that just boosts your self-esteem to a whole nother stratosphere. And I'm lucky to say that I'm the latter. My first fight was a win, and I'm really damn proud of it. And I'm going to talk about it. It was a good day for your boy. Something that I still look back to this day with confidence, and also I'm proud of myself. I believe that it was probably like in 7th grade or 8th grade, something like that. And I used to ride the bus back to school, back home from school, and I was walking back home, and these kids that were in my community were like fucking like, you know, talking shit, you know, trying to get me to like react. They were following me in a way, like a pack of like 3 or 4. I don't really remember. So as I got closer to my house, you know, I decided to turn around and confront them. And as it goes, you know, you take your backpack off, and when the backpack comes off, that's it. It's go time. Now, something that they didn't know is that I was already like probably like a year or 2 years into like martial arts. I was studying Taekwondo, and it was changing my life completely. You know, it was like the turning point in my life. It's like it was the first time in my life that I discovered that I had some talent other than playing video games or whatever. So I was dedicating hours and hours of my life every week to learn how to punch, how to kick, how to take a punch, how to take a kick. So I was like, okay, I was already fighting people in class every day. You know, of course with the protection, but at the same time, you're still getting pummeled by your teacher, and you have to like to be in martial arts. You have to have a high pain tolerance. You know, and I feel that after like a year or two, I was like, okay, I'm ready. You know, and what they teach you in martial arts is that you never show off. You never talk about the fact that you know how to fight, but you always have these weapons on you, you know, to be able to defend yourself. So this was exactly the moment I needed to prove myself, because if I was to lose, I don't think I would be able to return to my martial arts class. I wouldn't be able to show face. Could you imagine? You know, you go back to class and you're all fucking fucked up, and what are you going to do? You know, at that point, you might as well quit. So the backpack came off, man, and this kid, you know, he's a little heavier set. He was a thick boy, thicker than me, and he got in his fighter stance, and this is hilarious, man. This is what we were taught. They teach you this in martial arts, like the first day. Nobody knows how to fight. Nobody does. You know, everybody thinks that all the weight has to go up in their chest and they have to build themselves up, you know, peacock it, you know? And that's like, they're already fucking digging their grave at that point, you know, because the proper way to fight is to stay low. You know, why do you think you see these martial artists, man? They're low to the ground. They're fucking stable, because then it's harder to get swept, you know, and to get on the ground. And if you look at MMA, man, these motherfuckers, like, you know, once they're on the ground, as you can see, it's game over, you know. But I don't have skill when it comes to ground fighting, but I did know how to fucking kick, and I could kick. I'm still to this day able to kick as high as my head, probably higher. You know, I think it's a good weapon to have on you, you know. So we started off, you know, I get in my fighter stance, loosey goosey, and he's like, you know, trying to do his thing, like, you know, horrible fucking technique. I could see that he's coming at me, and every punch that he throws at me, he misses. I keep backing up, using my, you know, what I've learned to, like, you know, move back, move forward. So when he misses, I go forward with a kick to the face. He misses, I go forward with a kick to the head. You know, I keep just bashing him, and then, you know, his friends kind of wanna. The people that are there watching, they're like, "Oh fuck, man! He doesn't stand a chance as long as this kid kicks." So they start screaming at me, "Hey, if you keep kicking, we're gonna jump in and beat your ass." And I'm like, "I'm gonna keep kicking." So then whatever, they jump in, they want to, you know, gang up on me, and I'm protecting my head. You know, I'm on the floor and I'm protecting my face, and they're kicking me, and then I get right back up and I continue the fight. You know, I pretend like they didn't even exist, like that didn't even happen, and I continue the fucking fight. I'm not gonna lose. So I just keep pummeling his face until it's bloody. Just keep pummeling it until it got broken up by somebody in the community that saw that we were fighting, and they break it up. But fact of the matter is, if there was a referee there, I got more hits in and I drew blood, and I think that's all that matters. And to this day, I look back at that day like, that's what it's all about, baby. You know, when you're confronted with a challenge in life, you can't back out. You have to look at it, you know, forward. You have to just attack it head on, and you can't be a coward. You know, you can't go hide away. You have to fucking just do it. And yeah, thank you, martial arts, for being able to allow me to have that day, which kind of shaped me for the rest of my life. You know, it was a self-confidence boost that was like, you know, probably better than if you like dated a supermodel. You know, like if you ever dated a supermodel, your self-confidence probably go through the roof. But I think that was better than that happening. You know. But yeah, if you guys had some kind of fight experience, you know, go ahead, let's talk about it. Put it in the comments, you know. I want to hear what your fighting experience was, you know. Luckily enough, you know, I'm somebody that tries to avoid confrontation, you know. I'm a lover, not a fighter. So I try to avoid confrontation. There's been times where I could have gotten into more fights in my life, but I'd rather just not instigate. I'd rather not have to do it unless, like that day, I had no other choice. I was backed up in a corner, you know. There's running doesn't exist in my world. There's no such thing as running away. There's no such thing as, you know, once somebody puts their hands on you, you're not going to react. It's game over from there. I mean, it's like once you activate that, once somebody crosses that line, that's it. It's on, you know? Everybody has to fucking react. Nobody should ever back down from a challenge like that. And I believe that's when martial arts comes in handy. It's very beneficial to be able to have that skill. Yeah, but we're out here, man. We're out here just taking a day to day. I cannot wait for the music venues to open up. I have a birthday coming up soon, and from what I hear, by the time my birthday hits, the music venues are going to be back open, and you know where your boy's going to celebrate. I'm going to be hitting them up. I'm going to be hitting up all the shows, man. And I have a couple of tickets that were postponed, so I'm looking forward to going to those shows later in the next couple of months. I hope that nothing happens again that will result in a postponed show or a canceled date. I really do hope so, but I want to be able to show my support, and go out there and do what I really love to do, which is see live entertainment, whether it be comedy or music. I'll tell you what, man, we're going to appreciate it a lot more. We're going to appreciate these entertainers a lot more when everything gets back to normal. We need these people. These people are so crucial to our day-to-day lives. You know, what's the point of living without some kind of being able to just get outside your house and be able to be somewhere where you can experience something with a bunch of people that are also there for the same reason? It's very important, man. Very important. We take it for granted, man. We take it for granted. Why do we do that? Why do we take it for granted? Why do we pay musicians so low when they're providing us such joy, you know? But for me, like, I don't know. Like, for me, I prefer live music, but the older I get, I also prefer live comedy as well. And I've met people that have said that, like, I don't like stand-up comedy. It's like, how do you not like stand-up comedy? Stand-up comedy is probably the most unfiltered form of entertainment that exists. It's just a person and a microphone. Like, for me, it's like the version of the blues in music. So unfiltered, so real. The honest truth. And stand-up comedy for me is basically that. That's what it is. And that's why I respect it so much. I'm studying it. I'm like currently studying it, like, you know, like the early martial arts days. Just I'm learning from the best. I'm taking, you know, soaking it all in like a sponge. And I don't know if I'll ever have that, if I'll ever get up on stage. But if I write a 6 set, I don't think I'm going to be a good, you know, like from the top of the dome. I'll do top of the dome here for this podcast because it's just me and the camera. But I will definitely have to have a written set, you know, something written out for me to be able to get on stage in the future. And I'm not counting it out because, you know, like I said, you know, I never back down from a challenge. And that's one thing that I know that is going to be the ultimate challenge for me. And I really want to be able to do it. I really want to be able to do it one day. So we will see. We will see where that goes. And yeah, that's like it's like a bucket list thing. You can't if you have things on your bucket list, if you have unaccomplished endeavors, Don't wait. Just don't wait. Don't wait until you're fucking too old. You know, we're young here, man. We're young. Everybody's young. You're only as young as you think you are. Okay? Why are you counting years? For example, Prince, I believe he stopped counting after 30. Like, he never knew what his age was. He probably died not knowing what his age was unless he looks at his birth certificate. But then he has to, like, calculate, okay, I'm, like, this many years old. I kind of want to do the same thing. Every time my birthday hits, you know, I like to be out and about, and I like to be with people, and I like to actually, you know, like, celebrate in a way, you know. I believe that you could always find a reason to celebrate something. Celebrate life. And your birthday is just that kind of celebration. It should just be another celebration, but you shouldn't be counting those years and have that be like a ticking time bomb to your fucking death. That's horrible. That's horrible. That means that you're basically just living with like a timer. Like, oh, fuck. Oh, shit, I have to have those kids. I have to have that house. Oh, man, now I'm like fucking this many age. I can't do that anymore. It's not cool. Society's going to look down on me. Why? Look at Tony Hawk. He's in his 50s and he's still fucking doing 900s on your ass. What are you going to fucking do? What else are you going to do? Huh? You're going to sit in a desk job and pretend like fucking, oh, fuck, I got to be like my fucking dad. I got to be like my fucking, my brother, like my neighbor. Oh, I need to have that new car. I need to have that fucking new thing, you know? Oh, I need to have that kid, that little baby looks just like me. It's going to hate me in 10 years. Do what you want to do, man. And forget about your age. Age is a number. Age is a number. You're only as young as you think you are, you know? And that's the biggest trap, man. That's the biggest trap for all of us, is getting into the trappings of having to conform to what everybody else wants us to be. Be what you want to be. And this is where it's very beneficial for people to take a second to pause and look within, to actually look within and really focus on their nucleus, on the voice within. And if the voice within says, "Hey, look, I do want to have a family. I want to settle down. I want to have this normal lifestyle," then that's fine. That's fine. You know, I respect normal people, but I'm not normal. And never have been normal. And I've never been a fan of normal. And have I found normal people to be interesting? No. I can't say there's been one normal person in my life that has been interesting or influential to me. I don't look up to them. I don't want to be them. Don't even want to talk to them. I find them to be boring and gray. There's no color there. It's just gray. You know? Stop showing me pictures of your kids. I don't want to see it. Type of deal, you know? Stop talking about the money you made or the money you're about to make. Is there anything else that this conversation go into so that we can actually form a friendship? No? Okay. We're not hanging out then, ever again. That's not my scene, man. And if it's your scene, look, I'm not going to apologize. I respect it. Much respect, because we need normal people. We need normal people, because if not, Walmart would go out of business. Let's just be real, you know? So thank you, normal people. We need Walmart to stay in business. And but I digress. All I want to say is that if anybody's listening to this garbage being spewed right now, I appreciate you all. You better believe that I'm going to keep pumping these out, okay? As ridiculous as they may seem, even if I get not a lot of, views or anything like that, it doesn't matter. It's about consistency. It's about not stopping. It's about perseverance. This is what it's all about in life. So I'm going to keep pumping this material out. I'm going to keep making these silly videos, and hopefully everybody takes something out of it. Hopefully you're able to be entertained for 45 minutes to an hour of your day. And yeah, I want to keep this ball rolling. You know, the wheel's not going to stop spinning. I have a lot of plans. You know, I have plans to incorporate some different kind of lighting techniques. I have plans to probably have some guests in the future. I just need to have the right people to talk to. I don't want to just talk to anybody. It's going to start with, who knows? It's probably going to start with like people that I find to be very interesting, even if they're not, if I don't relate to them in some kind of like, if we don't have similar interests, but probably be somebody that I find to be extremely interesting, and I'd like to, you know, pick their brain and talk to them about some things. So we'll see what happens. But for now, it's just going to be me and a microphone, and starting it off with the music talk and the beer talk, and then going from there, which is just random talk, which is like 50% of my life, what it consists of. Just talking about random shit and being a motherfucking silly human. Silly monkey. We're here to just have a good old silly monkey time here, you know? And shout out to Crystalia. That's the first thing that could come to my mind is Crystalia's Silly Goose Time, but I didn't want to say that. So I do want to say that, you know, that's one of my favorite podcasts is the Congratulations Podcast by Crystalia. So go check that out, because he's probably the best comedian alive to this day, you know? And yeah, he has a hell of a mind on him, and his podcast is top notch, man, top notch. I feel like I'm very lucky to watch his podcast, because it's like he's giving us free material. He's allowing us to, like, you know, like check out his material, his unfiltered mind. And sometimes I feel that, like, you know, that's the thing with like written material, like comics still go up on stage with like written material that they've tried out many, many times. And I feel that if you do it over and over and over and over again, it's not as good as that when it's coming out fresh. So that's what I think I prefer the podcast over his stand-up routine or his specials. But not to knock the specials. I love the specials. But that's the great thing about podcasting, man. It's just, it's so random. It's so fresh. It's so real. And it's the fucking truth. And I live for the truth. I live for nothing but the truth. And we're here. We're here in this moment of time, and I appreciate you motherfuckers being out there and, you know, sharing. So I encourage everybody else to also share. Please share, you know. Start your own podcast. Start your own music project. Try to see what you can create, you know. Create something out of nothing. Whether it be the earthly things like music or whatever, or even, you know, some kind of, yeah, like art or crafts or whatever. It's all good. It's all good. I support it all 100%. That's how you keep yourself from being normal. Don't be normal. Don't be boring. You know, think outside the box. Don't be you know. And on that note, I'm going to leave you all, and I will take one last sip from my two-hearted ale and say the last thought that's on my mind. When we're gone, the dolphins will continue to swim. So, why the fuck does it matter how you live your life today? Just live. Because we're only here for a finite moment in time, and once we're gone, it's over. And when the human race is gone, it's just the human race is gone. But the dolphins will continue to swim. Guarantee it. Good night.